If you've been stuck tweaking your landing page for days or aren't even sure how to start, then this is for you. In this video, I'll be building a coaching landing page from scratch right in front of you and showing how easy it can be when you stop overthinking every little detail. Done is better than perfect, and by the end of this video, you'll have everything you need to get your page live. Let's get into it. All right, so for this example, we're going to be building the landing page inside Ambit, but this will work with any landing page builder you choose. If you do want to follow along with me, there's a link in the description to get a free 30-day trial. Okay, so let's hop over to Pages and click Add Page. And I'm going to choose Opt-in. So in this example, I'm going to pretend I'm a business coach that helps creators turn their content into a client business. In other words, how do they get clients based on the content they already make? So I'm going to choose Opt-in. I'm going to be launching a free report or ebook kind of lead magnet in exchange for their email address. So let's click Select Template on the opt-in template. And now what I'm going to do is click Import Theme from Workspace. So now that I click that, my company's brand has already been imported into my landing page, so I don't have to worry about any of the design stuff. I'll just focus on the layout and structure here. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is come up with a headline, because the headline is the most important element of a landing page. If people don't like the headline on your landing page, they're just going to click off right away. So all we have to do is make sure that whatever headline we come up with is both relevant to the person reading it and captures their attention so that they don't close out of the page. So in this case, I'm going to be launching an ebook that helps creators turn their content into a client business. So something like this would work. The hidden strategy top creators use, and then I'll bring in a second headline underneath right here, and this will say to turn content into cash. So hidden strategy is probably the part that grabs the attention. The term hidden strategy creates intrigue, right? Curiosity. One thing to do is I'll style this, and then I will turn the color to be the orange primary color there. And then I'll make this one the secondary primary color, the blue. So it pops out a little bit more. And so again, the whole point of the headline here is just to capture attention. Don't overthink it. If the headline that you're using isn't working, you can always try another one. And it's good to experiment with different ones to know exactly what resonates with your audience. For the pre-headline here, what I'm going to do is say free ebook reveals. I could also say free report reveals. And then let's go ahead and put like quotes around this. The quotes just kind of draw more attention, so that's why I'm putting it there. And then one thing we can do if we're launching any kind of digital asset like an ebook or a report or a PDF is we can create a mock-up that makes it look and feel real. And so you can get these with ChatGPT very easily. This is one I generated with ChatGPT. I'm just going to drag it in here. It looks real, looks like a real book, but this is literally just me asking, generate me an ebook mock-up that says close clients with content to ChatGPT. All right. And now one thing at the top, I probably don't need this button here because I have a clear call to action down below, or at least I'm going to put it in just a second, which is to fill out this form. So this button is actually distracting from the main point of the page. I'm going to delete the button, and I'm going to probably center the logo here. And then let's remove some of the padding so that it's a little cleaner and easier to look at. Okay, so now it's simplified. When people land on the page, the first thing they're probably going to be drawn to is the image of the ebook. And the second thing they're going to be looking at is the headline, which is exactly what we want. Okay. Next, let's clean this up a little. I probably don't need this paragraph. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another headline here, but it's going to be more of a call to action. So let's drag in another headline. I'm going to put it inside the form, and it's going to say get instant access. And the whole point of this is to give a clear action that we want them to take in order to get this hidden strategy. Right? So this is we call the above the fold section. When people land on the page, this is the first thing they see. But not everyone is going to be sold right away. So what we can do is we can add sections below this section, which reinforce the reasons why they should be signing up. So we're going to now build what we call an interest section, or it's a section that builds the interest for people who they've had their attention grabbed, but they want more. They want to learn more. So we're going to ease them into explaining what the ebook does by building this kind of storytelling almost kind of a section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag in a new empty section right down here. And then inside that, I'm going to drag in a headline. And we're going to basically talk to the prospect, right? Again, these are creators who already have content. They want to build a client business on top. So we're going to say, you're posting great content. And then we're going to follow it up with another headline. But it's not getting you any clients. So this resonates directly with the immediate problem that this ebook solves. So if there's anyone here who this problem does not apply to, they're going to close out of that page, but that's what we want anyway, right? We only want people who actually have this problem and want to solve this problem to sign up, because those are the people who our business is best equipped to serve. So next I'm going to bring in a paragraph, and we're going to elaborate on this a bit. Okay, so just to save time, I filled it out, and now what I'm going to do is a few things. One is I'll make it bigger, so I'll increase the font size, probably like that. Then I'll center it, and now I'll use a combination of italic, bold, and color to switch up the rhythm a little. So I'll make brutal truth italic. I'll make this line into the orange color. I'll make a system bold and italic. And then exact strategy creators use. For that one, I'm going to give it the blue. All right, so now you're posting great content, but it's not getting you any clients. The brutal truth is your content alone isn't enough. You don't just need to post more, you need a system. In this free ebook, you'll discover the exact strategy top creators use to bridge the gap between content and consistent clients. So again, the whole point of this section is to build interest and qualify our readers. So push away people who we wouldn't be best suited to serve and attract those who we would. All right, so now that we've built interest, we're going to kind of explain a bit more about what's in the ebook. So this is a nice formula that I like to follow, which is grab attention first, then build interest, then start listing off the benefits of what they're getting. So what we'll do is we'll add another section here, and this time I'll do a bullet point section, but I'll customize this a bit. So what I'll do is I'll switch the order of these. I'll put the bullet points first, and then I'll probably put a headline on top of the bullet points and say something like what you'll get. And let's just bring the size down there. And then let's make this fill so that it expands. And then on this side, instead of all this text, I'm going to just put a picture, an image. So we'll drag in that same image of my ebook again. And let's just scale it up. All right. And now let's shrink down the size of this a little bit, of the whole container. All right, now let me fill out the bullet points. All right, there we go. So I filled out the bullet points. Again, the point of this is to tell the reader what they're going to be getting inside the ebook. Maybe instead of what you'll get, I'll say inside you'll get dot, dot, dot. And then let's just bring that down, make that a little bigger, maybe we'll even center this. So I'll just choose the align, I'll center align it. There we go. And maybe I'll put a bit more gap in between each element. All right, there we go. So this is, again, a section meant to detail the benefits of the ebook. All right, so the next thing we can do is add some social proof, or something to give the reader a sense that this solution works for other people. So I'm going to click plus, I'm going to add the testimonial section, and then over here I'm going to click image, go to settings, and choose an image to use for this. In this case, I'm going to use this fake image generated by ChatGPT, but you would want to use a real testimonial, obviously. All right, so I filled out the testimonial. Let me just make the text a little bigger so we can see it. And there it is. It doesn't have to be crazy, just a simple quote, simple picture, and then a name and a title. That's all we need. Okay, so we have our testimonial. Now, I think it's time for a final call to action. So anyone who makes it down this far is probably already sold on the value, but they might not necessarily have a reason to act now. So that's why we want to add a call to action section which introduces some kind of urgency or scarcity to get them to take the action. So I'll click plus here, and then I will add in probably an empty section, and I'll customize it myself. So I'll go over and add a headline, and we're going to do, again, a final call to action. So I'm going to use ready to turn your content into clients. So this is asking them if they're ready, and then we're going to add in a paragraph here. Okay, so I filled out the paragraph. Let's so it says you're already creating content. That's the hard part. Now it's time to make it work for you. Click the button below to learn the secret to building the client business of your dreams. So let's first we'll increase the font size a little. Then I will center it. Then I'll make this one blue. And then finally I'll say click the button. That part will be bold, so it's clear that's the action we want them to take. Now I'll actually add the button in. So I add the button. Let's hit settings and change the label. Claim my free copy. If we want, we can put an exclamation point at the end. I'll do the same thing for up here. I didn't change the label on this one. Claim my free copy. Okay, there we go. And so we want this button just to zip us back up to the top of the page so they fill out the form. And then finally, we're going to do a scarcity section. So I'll add in another empty section here and a headline. And we'll say, will this be free forever? And then we'll put a paragraph and I'll fill it out. All right, I filled it out. Again, I'm going to scale up the font size and center it. And now let's make no bold and probably act fast. I'll make italic. So it says no, we're only offering this to the we're only offering this free to the first 100 people who sign up. After that, it will only be available to our paid clients. Act fast. So the point of this is to, again, give them a reason not to wait and to actually sign up today. All right, so that's it. This does not have to be crazy complicated. We start off by grabbing the attention of the desired reader, giving them a clear way to get the value they came for. And then for people who aren't sold right away, build interest with some section kind of like this. Then create a desire in them by building up the value of the offer. Add social proof, or if it's a paid offer, you can add guarantees, something to reduce the uncertainty in the reader's mind. And then give a final call to action. So this works well for a free offer. If it's a paid offer, you'll want to add more sections and layer this on more and more, but the same structures apply. It's grab attention, build interest, build desire, and give a reason to act now. So if you're interested in getting your own page live inside of Ambit, we're currently offering a 30-day free trial that gives you everything you need to turn clicks into clients. That link is in the description. Aside from that, thanks for watching, keep killing it, and have a wonderful day.